Howdy, Quarterpants here, and welcome to the beginning of the channel. Today, we'll be taking you on a journey back in time on our first episode of Continuity Current. What is Continuity Current? In this series, we will evaluate the past 25 years to see if there's any merit in the endless waves of nostalgia for time gone by. Where do we start though? Why not look to the moment right before it all went off the rails? The year many say was the last time they supposedly had hope for the future, just in time for the 10th anniversary. Today, we're talking 2016. Fashion, film, music, and politics. 2016 is the year that set the cultural pace for the next decade. So sit back and relax as we crack this weird year back open to see if the current onslaught of 2016 nostalgia is even warranted in the first place. Or should we just put it back in the closet with the rest of our skinny jeans, 21 Pilots tees, Jordan 1s, and Yeezy Turtle Doves? To start off, wait, hold on. Shit, let's get this out the way now.
I miss you.
Anyways, let's kick things off with maybe the most pivotal album release of the last decade. Kanye West's So Help Me God. Swish. I mean Waves. Actually, I mean Life of Pablo by Kanye West. February 14th, 2016, Life of Pablo is released. An album plagued with rewrites, renames, and re-recordings. Life of Pablo is easily one of the most notable albums of the year, a microcosm and foreshadowing of not just music, but the culture at large. It set the stage for the next arc in Kanye's career, for better or for worse.
This is the way of thinking to make America great again.
Coming off the heels of the extremely divisive album Yeezus, Kanye started production on Life of Pablo in 2015. The final title was intended to evoke Pablo Picasso, Pablo Escobar, and even the Apostle Paul. The track list was also subject to constant change, with a litany of singles featuring Rihanna, Paul McCartney, Kendrick Lamar, and other artists we'll get to in due time. The singular album release began at the Yeezy Season 3 premiere in Madison Square Garden, and subsequently released next week exclusively on... Give me a second. Tidal. Remember Tidal? I don't. The singular moment for Mr. West reached a fever pitch during the 2016 St. Pablo tour. Sat upon a levitating stage, Kanye's live performances this year were astonishing. They undeniably set a high watermark for the live concert as its own artistic medium. Despite being a creative victory lap, the grid of orange lights also illuminated the cracks forming in Kanye's facade.
Jay-Z called me. Hey, bro, Jay-Z, I know you got killers. Please don't send them out my head.
Despite that, and Kanye re-editing Pablo more times than the original Star Wars trilogy, the album not only helped launch Vic Mensa, Ty Dolla $ign, and yes, Designer, but it also catalyzed the burgeoning careers of Frank Ocean, and most importantly, Chance the Rapper. With 2 mixtapes already in his belt, on May 13th, Chance released Coloring Book to both popular and critical acclaim. Coloring Book propelled Chance to massive stardom for years to come. We'll get to 2019. 2016 also gave rise to the SoundCloud rapper phenomenon, including but not limited to Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Yachty, XXXTentacion, Playboi Carti, 21 Savage, Trippie Redd, and Kodak Black, culminating in the XXL class of 2016 freestyle. The performance cemented these artists in the popular consciousness, many of whom are still pushing creative boundaries to this day, like Lil Yachty, or pushing other boundaries like Kodak Black. The music of 2016 is generally agreed to be monumental. Frank Ocean's Blonde, J. Cole's For Your Eyes Only, and David Bowie's final album Black Star, Death Grips with Bottomless Pit, Thank You For Your Service by A Tribe Called Quest, Solange's A Seat at the Table, and so many other songs that were featured on the Suicide Squad soundtrack. Lemonade came out too, I guess.
I hot sauce in my bag. Swag.
Let's switch gears and talk about hypebeast culture.
Yes! Yes!
Hypebeast culture exploded as affluent teenagers bastardized the popular influencers at the time. Brands and retailers such as Bathing Ape, the ever-growing Off-White, Yeezy, and the endless potential of the collaboration market.
And I'm going to show you some gems. Let's go.
This was only the beginning though, as we saw the rise of sneaker culture prompted by influencers such as Kais Omar, Seth Fowler, and complex sneaker shopping
Look like
series.
a tennis ball.
This moment would define the aesthetic of a certain subset of people for years to come. To be honest, I'm glad that I am no longer subjected to seeing ripped skinny jeans and vintage Metallica t-shirts everywhere. However, there are days I miss the NMD and the rarity of a Jordan 1. My sweet, beautiful, bred 2016 Jordan 1. My dear De La Soul Dunk. How I miss you. In the ashes of Gamergate, 2016 also marked a new era for gaming. Our first steps into virtual reality, highly anticipated sequels like Titanfall 2, Uncharted 4, Dark Souls 3, and Battlefield 1. Or even new titles like Overwatch, Inside, and No Man's Sky. The game that sticks out the most to me, and no, it's not the one you're thinking of. We'll get to that. I'm talking about that big motherfucker Doom. Released on May 13th. Hey, that's a pretty good date. May 2016 really was special. I hope nothing sad happened involving a gorilla. Anyway, following the release of the Doom movie, Doom 3, the franchise was in a state of disrepair. Anticipation grew as Bethesda and id Software tinkered away at what would end up being both a franchise reboot and an homage to the original beloved Doom. With all this talk, you would think that this was the largest gaming event of the year. But I'm not wearing a Doom guy mask, am I? Let's talk, finally, about Pokemon Go.
Are you playing Pokemon Go here? I'll be back to take this gym later.
Pokemon Go's inception began as a simple April Fool's gag, known as the Google Maps Pokemon Challenge, which allowed Google Maps users to walk around their neighborhood and catch Pokemon at various locations. Inspired, the game development company Niantic partnered with Nintendo to create a fully fledged game. The game utilized a phone's camera and GPS functionality to play an augmented reality version of Pokemon. The gameplay was dependent on going outside, exploring your neighborhood, and working together with other people in real life. Summer 2016 saw gaggles of people, both young and old, ironically brought back into the real world. Pokemon Go would take people to all sorts of different locations, like the gym, to Sprint stores, or Little St. James. With constant updates, the game saw meteoric success.
Pokemon.
For a certain demographic, the influence of popular YouTubers is undeniable. Major players like Filthy Frank, PewDiePie, H3H3, Leafy is here, and of course, iDubbbz. This era of internet content reverberates to this day. Do we get brain rot if we don't start here? The defining humor of the time was shock, fueled by drama, instigation, and overt racism. A lot of it hasn't aged well, and perhaps the smartest of these scattered forefathers have gotten out of the game entirely. Those who have stuck around probably would have been better off if they didn't. Movies too. 2016 saw Deadpool, Captain America Civil War, Zootopia, Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, Kung Fu Panda 3, and perhaps most historically important, Suicide Squad.
This is Katana. She's got my back.
2016 was maybe the last gasp of the monoculture, and these blockbusters dominated lunch table and water cooler discussions alike. We also have Doctor Strange, which maybe doesn't stick in your mind like it does mine. I remember watching it on November 8th, 2016.
Ladies and gentlemen.
If you found a random American between the ages of 22 and 35 and asked them to pinpoint the moment that this whole thing went off the rails, almost all of them would say 2016. It was a political horror show that unfolded in slow motion, where Americans were faced with a difficult choice between two historically unpopular and simultaneously popular candidates. Like dropping a cinder block on the gas pedal, 2016 ignited the firestorm that hasn't let up since. There was also political turmoil abroad. The UK did Brexit. I guess. I'm not gonna act like I know anything about that. As difficult as this period was politically, it feels a bit trite to round out this look back with that topic. We need something else. Something all-encompassing. What was the defining moment of 2016? It wasn't Trump. It wasn't Hillary. It wasn't the clown sightings. Look it up. It wasn't even Pokemon Go. When you look up 2016 in the history books, whose face will you see? On May 28, 2016, at the Cincinnati Zoo, the world watched as a 17-year-old gorilla by the name of Harambe got struck down, shot, and senselessly killed after a young boy fell into the gorilla enclosure. May this video honor his memory and serve as a reminder for how short our time on this earth is. He was just a fucking kid, goddammit! On that somber note, I think it's time for us to get some second opinions on the matter.
And I remember 2016, I feel like I remember that like it was yesterday.
I think 2016 was kind of a blur.
What are my thoughts on 2016?
I mean, I started high school that year.
I was 15 years old, turning 16. Crazy.
Well, I went off to college that year and sort of blew my whole world wide open.
So it was kind of a coming of age moment to be like, hey, you're growing up.
I just got my first job around this time, but at the same time I was still a kid.
Something in that moment for me personally changed. And it never went back to the way it was.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with never living it again.
I would definitely experience it again, especially if I have the knowledge that I do now. I would definitely go back. I would definitely change so many things.
Selfishly, yes. There's so many experiences that I wish I could go back and relive and enjoy again, and decisions that I would make differently. And
I don't think I'd want to experience it again, though.
But I was still outside having fun with friends, going to play basketball with them. But I wasn't paying no bills like I do now. Like, it's just like we grown men and everybody done moved out, or they're doing their own thing, and it's just like we ain't that no more. We're not that no more. You grow apart from people that you don't really talk to like that anymore.
Yes, 2016 truly was a fascinating time to experience firsthand. But is it worth being reminded of 10 years on? Or is it time we take our rose-tinted glasses off? Well, personally, I think with every year, there's going to be ups and downs. But I think with this year, it truly gave us a glimpse into the world of the future and what society would become. Heavy division, cultural oversaturation, and nothing to distract you from the realities outside your door than drama and memes. In short, no, I don't think we should look back on 2016, and instead see how time repeats itself and try to avoid the pitfalls of 10 years ago while appreciating the good it gave us. If you agree or disagree, let me know why in the comments below, or let me know what 2016 means to you. But for now, I'll see you all soon. What year next? Only time will tell.